morning. Gotta start early today. I got some appointments and errands to run. Make me a cup of coffee. Get started. Did you miss me yesterday? I wasn't feeling that great. So I laid low. BCC. Okay. Good morning. How's everyone today? Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Yo-Yo. How are you? I didn't get on live yesterday. I was not feeling well yesterday, so I just laid low. But how's things going with you? Had to start out early today. I'm okay. Hi, Annette. How are you? I might come back on later. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, how's everyone doing today? I'm glad the sun is out. Yesterday, we were going through storm watches, and um, they were talking about tornadoes. It did rain pretty hard, but you know, it did stop after a while. How was everyone's weekend? Y'all do anything fun? Like I said, this weekend here was really cold and windy. I guess it was getting ready for the tornadoes coming up. Oh, you had a lot of wind there? Yeah, I heard you all. Well, I don't know what part of New York you're in, but um, somebody I know that lives in Manhattan, she said that they had tornado watches there too. So, boy, the thing with these supermarkets is really, and these food places are really too much. I saw an Instagram where they were talking about there was a young lady who worked for Tyson, and she was talking about how they would come across chicken that was, it just didn't look good. It was discolored. You had snow in your car? Wow. We didn't get snow here. We did get a lot of rain. And she said she would take the chicken to her supervisor, to say, hey, we shouldn't use this. You don't buy Tyson. I don't buy Tyson anymore either. I remember, well, my kids were young, so I guess maybe 30 years ago, I think we were purchasing Tyson chicken. But they got too many recalls, I see. She said she would take it to the supervisor, and the supervisor told her to go ahead and like put it on the conveyor belt. Like to go ahead and package it. I was like, wow, these companies are too much. I mean, I know they don't want to lose money, but really, sometimes that's why I did that. I showed the video of the CEO eating the McDonald's new hamburger, the big arch. That man didn't even take a little nib on that burger. Talk about it tastes good. I want to see you eat the whole hamburger, sir. Oh my goodness. Because a lot of people question what they put in those burgers now at McDonald's. And I hate to say it, I grew up on McDonald's, so it's just sad the way you can't even trust, even the big name stores to do the right thing. I have to excuse my coffee pot. It's very loud. Yeah, so what all do you have planned today? Anybody got any good things planned? I was thinking about going to I got some research to do. So I was thinking about walking over to the library, which is about 4 or 6 blocks from here. Might be about 6 blocks from here. Going to the library. I was thinking about that. Since the sun is out today, hopefully it won't be too cold or too windy. You getting caught up on runs? What you got, errands to do? Inette? Yeah, I know I got a lot of errands to do myself. So, yeah, yeah. How are you coming along with your content? I know the things that I hate to say it I would like to talk about, I think is it might be flagged. So I don't discuss it. All I got to say is a lot going on in this world. I'm trying, yo. I'm really trying. Cause I hate to be here you go. I'm one of them people who I don't like to be a failure at anything. I like to do what I'm supposed to do type of person. I think that's part of my problem. Sometimes, a lot of people tell me I'm too hard on myself because I've accomplished more than a lot of other people. But, I guess, set my standards at a certain level. I just want to do it right. I hate to say it, y'all. I am out of creamer. And all I got is this old, what you call this stuff? This powder stuff. Ugh. I have to get to the supermarket or have the supermarket come to me. I haven't decided which way I'm going to go. You know what I'm talking about, what I want to do. I want to talk about what's going on in this nation. That's what I want to talk about. I don't want nobody to come flagging my channel. There's some crazy stuff going on. Crazy stuff going on. Yeah. Yeah. As my little niece would say, meh. I didn't say that, Inette. But you know what I'm talking about. Most definitely. That man is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I will make a I saw a clip from one of the news channels, you know, when he does his little meetings. Why in the clip he's going to say, I'm going to pull it up so that I can read it verbatim. Wait a minute. That's not it. In the clip, he states that Gavin Newsom, the president of the United States, that's just what he called Gavin Newsom the president of the United States. I was like, what? I said, that man is... Yeah, girl, he passed low. I wouldn't even put that on slow people. Honey, he is past low. And the sad part is he looks so bad, you know? Um, They showed a picture of him in his golf outfit. He was all crippled over. It's kind of sad to see somebody deteriorate like that, you know, before your eyes. Oh, also, this is the funny part about all of this is I'm gonna show this picture. Wait a minute. Man, I want to get a good picture where y'all can see these shoes. Oh, shoot. Look at this. This is from all the news outlets put this picture out. These are Rubio shoes. You see those shoes? Do you see his feet in those shoes that he has on? They are what? Too big. Do you see those shoes? Well, these shoes, they're Florsheim's. Trump paid $145, okay, for these Florsheim shoes that Rubio has on. Okay? Those are Rubio's pairs of shoes. So what he did is, I think he asked everybody what shoe size they wore, I guess before he actually purchased them. And Rubio, he's a short guy. So I don't know what size he told Trump. Well, you see how big they are on his feet? He gave Trump, I guess, the wrong size shoe. This is the kicker. And I've worked in management, administrative positions, okay, for the last 15 years of my career. And I've worked, side by side with my directors, okay? And I've worked with like I said, like CEOs and VPs. I never worked where they wanted you to dress like them. He purchased shoes for his administrative staff, okay? And that's the shoes that Rubio has on in that picture. And he made them wear them. Like, literally, everybody wearing the same. And I'm not trying to be funny, but they're ugly. Okay? They're not stylish. I know Florsheim's at one time was a big, was a big name. But, how many guys going, I want to go get me some Florsheim shoes. You don't even see people wearing Florsheim shoes. I have 3 sons. I don't even know if I ever took them to buy Florsheim shoes. And my oldest son, he worked in, he worked in corporate positions. So it's like, really, Florsheims? And $145 to me is not what you call. I mean, they're expensive depending on your pocketbook, but a man of that stature paying $145 for a pair of shoes, if you're supposed to be so rich, why would you buy $145 pair of shoes? And they look like they're patent leather, not leather. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of entertaining. And I can't believe the man wore these shoes to work. It's like he has a good 2 inches too big, maybe 2 sizes too big for him. Like he's wearing his daddy shoes. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, some of the things also, another thing I came across are these kids. Some of these kid videos where there was a video of this little girl, and instead of the mother like really chastising the child, she's telling the child to don't do that. It's not nice to. Hands aren't made for hitting. Let me find this video. Oh no, this one is better. Some of these kid videos are too much. So I want you to listen to this one. Let me set the stage for you. I'm sitting at my desk at work. My phone rings. I picked up and say, hey, it's Miss Stacy. Miss Stacy, the teacher on the other end, says, he pulled out his thing in front of the class. I said, okay, I'm on my way. Race to the classroom, open the door. I said, you come with me. I take the shots and let's take a walk. We make it to my office. I sit down in my chair. I pull the other rolling chair. Say, have a seat. How old is the kid? 4 years old. 4. I said, hey. I said, what were you doing in class today? He said, playing. It's 8:30 in the morning. Okay. It's 8:30 in the morning. He said, playing. And this is just how you see. Playing. I said, what were you playing with? I said, what were you playing with? He didn't utter a word, he said. Do y'all hear? Did y'all see that? This is a 4-year-old. Okay? A 4-year-old. A 4-year-old. Because I love it. Okay?
Sweetie, I'm gonna need you to love it at home.
She said the right thing. I need you to love it at home. Because I love it. Let me tell you something. I have, like I said, I don't know if you noticed from my previous videos, it was 7 of us. I grew up in a family of 7 girls. I'm the oldest. My baby sister, she went to, nursery school because the 2 youngest ones, I'm sorry, that was my fault. Okay, so I grew up in a family of, everybody come back. I grew up in a family of 7 girls. And like I said, my baby sister came home from nursery school. And she was 4, about the same age. And kids, when they're that age, they're curious. I will say that. They're curious. So, she comes home and she went to nursery school. I think I had started, I had come home from high school. I had just started high school then. So she's home and she comes in and she comes in the house and she said, "Mommy, guess what? Keith has a nice thing." So me and my mother, we looked at each other and we said, "What do you mean Keith has a nice thing?" "Well, he showed it to us." Girl, we looked at each other and my mother said, "Where were you at when he showed it to you?" They were in the bathroom. Because, when the kids were that young back then, I think they shared the same bathrooms. Because, they just had the little stalls that, for the toddlers or whatever. Keith, and that was back in the 70s, I would say. Yeah, that was back in the, 1970. My sister came home and told us that Keith had a nice thing. Because Keith was showing his thing in nursery school. Yeah, these kids are something else. Something else. And like I said, there was another video where the mother was having a problem with her daughter. Oh, here it is.
Her makeup away from her makeup. Amelia! Amelia? No. She doesn't speak. This is her room. What do you mean she's selfish? You ruined her makeup. You broke her talent. Yeah, you did. What do you mean she paid for it? She's at work and she's gonna come home to this? Stop it! Amelia wrote. Stop eating chicken.
Oh, this is the one.
Hands are not for hitting. I don't like that. That hurts. We don't need.
It's okay.
Hands are not for hitting. I don't like that. That hurts. We don't need to get.
You probably need to pick your eyeball up because she took a chair.
She started hitting her mother with her hands, and then she go to pick up the chair and start hitting her mother, and all her mother did was sit there and say, "Hands are not for hitting." When she hit me the first time, okay, that would have been her last hit at that moment, okay? And another thing, growing up with the mother that I had, you hit my mom, that would have been your last hit. You would have been drawing back a nub, as my mother would say. You're going to draw back a nub. I don't understand with these parents. It's like, and then when these kids, and I hate to say it, I have family members who have done the same thing. The child be hitting or doing something to them, and they be, "Stop, little Susie, don't do that," and all kinds of stuff. And the thing is that don't do that. And then when little Susie get to be a teenager or something, and then they're going around here abusing you, and you can't control them, and then you want to call 911, "My child, they're not listening to me," or whatever, or they're hitting on me, or, "Can someone come help me? I've been beat up by my child." No. Like I said, I had 3 sons. If you ever met them, ask them. I didn't even have to hit my children. Like my father, he never hit us. He would just give you that look, and that was it. You knew. You better not even go there. And my mother, I did not want her to hit me, because my mom was a big woman. Please don't hit me. There you go. And wait, and I love it, how now they have these children program so that they'll say, "I'm going to call 911. Okay, to be your last phone call. Go ahead, call. Call them. Don't push it. Don't push me. Call them. I had one son, and at this point in my marriage, my husband and I were separated. I had one son, and he was cutting up. He was a teenager. He did one of those, he didn't come home after work things, because he worked at Burger King, and he thought he was grown. Okay. Next morning I get up, he never came home. I went looking for him. I couldn't find him where he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be spending a night with one of his friends. As the day progressed, I found out he was hanging in the streets, of course, with some girl, but that's a whole nother story. And I told his father to come get him, right? So his father came to get him, and he's, he gonna pack his, he said he's gonna pack his bag. And I said, "Oh no. Now I'm gonna let you walk out of here with that outfit and that jacket, because it was wintertime, with that polo jacket. You could walk out with that. But the rest of these clothes, I paid for this stuff. These are my clothes. My money. You know what I'm saying? You going with your dad? Have fun. Go ask him to buy you a wardrobe. See how far you go with that." I think he stayed with his father for one night. Okay? They always think they got the grass is green on the other side. Because I was the disciplinarian parent, you know. Yeah. But yeah, sometimes these kids will push you, you know. Would you say on that? Well, that's another story. I had a couple of them little incidents too. hmm Like I said, thank God they grew up to be responsible young men, or yeah, responsible men now because they're in their 40s, owning their own homes and taking care of their families. So, you know, I hate to say it, what what we have to realize is when you know, it's all beautiful when these people get pregnant, have these babies. Babies are beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but they don't come with handbooks. They do not come with handbooks. And that's everybody. I know. I look at some of the things I've done, and I'm quite sure they would be considered mistakes because nobody's perfect. Should I have made my teenager go with their fathers? Probably not, but I did. You know, but I did that to show him that, you know, you think you got it bad living underneath me, and I'm doing my best to take care of you and to provide a roof over your head. My children cannot say that they lacked anything, okay? Maybe lacked some of my time because I was a single parent, even though I was married at that part of my life and a part of their life. Um, I was working 2 jobs. At one time, I had 3. But I did it so that I could provide for them what they wanted. I didn't want them to lack for anything, okay? They did everything they were big enough to do. Anything that they even came to me and said that they wanted to do, I tried my best to give it to them. And some of the stuff was outrageous, of course, but I tried my best. And I think they lived a pretty good life. I do. But like I said, they might have a different um, version to tell. But, you know, that's their story, you know? But I know a lot of people they don't believe in you know, beating their children. And I'm not saying you should beat them down. Like I said, I know for a fact my youngest son, I beat him once. Once. Okay? And you know why I beat him? And it wasn't even it was because he thought he could get away with stuff and I wouldn't do anything to him. He was 10 years old. It was his turn to do the dishes. Now I'm gonna tell you what do the dishes in my house it was loading the dishwasher. Okay. He had to load a dishwasher. Okay. And by this time, it was like 10 o'clock at night. You know, they had to go to school in the morning. And the boy couldn't load the dishwasher to wash dishes. And you know what I beat him with? It was probably a belt from my robe. Okay? So, you know, a belt from the robe is not hard. And I whacked him once. You would have thought I killed that boy. To this day, his two older brothers, they still tell me I spoil him. And my youngest son is 43. Okay? To this day, they tell me I spoiled him rotten. Like I didn't make him be as responsible as the other two. And I don't think I did, but you know, like I said, that's their story. Yeah. So having, like I said, having children is not it's not easy. Because everybody's kids, each child is different. Like I said, I had 3. Each one of my sons are unique in their own way. You know, each one. They have different personalities and they have different traits. So you cannot, you know, it's not a cookie cutter type situation. Like I said, they don't come with manuals, you know, so you have to more or less try to conform for each situation or each child. You know what I'm saying? That's why I get so kind of worked up when I see like what goes on with Peaches McIntyre, because she has 9 babies basically. I know Gregory, the oldest one, he's 18 now, but the rest of them, they're still babies. You know, they need guidance. They need to be directed. And I just, you know, I just hope that she finally wake up soon and realize, you know, hey, I got to get on the ball here because, you know, like I know she says she has 3 in diapers now. Even though I don't know, I'm kind of wondering if that is the real situation there. But still, that's a lot. 3 in diapers at one time. I know the twins, you know, of course, they're the same age, but Phenomenal should be potty trained by now. I believe he's about 3 or going on 3, because he's a year older than the twins. So that's a lot. And then as far as their schooling and stuff, like I know she had them going to the tutoring place, but did she actually get a tutor to come to the house? Because I know she was saying she was going to get a tutor to come to the house to help with the kids, you know? Those kids need to be in school, in a setting with other kids. And this is just my opinion. And this is under the Communications Act from 1976, Section 107. And like I said, this is my opinion and my opinion only. But they need to be in some type of program or something with other children where they can develop their social skills. And she's not the only one that teaches her children from home. I know people personally who teach, you know, who homeschools their children. And some kids really do better with homeschooling, because I know 2 of my grandson, when they had the homeschool during that C-19 time period, he actually did better in his grades while he was being homeschooled versus going to school. So some kids do better with the homeschooling situation. But like I said, you still have to have them around other children so they can develop their social skills. Even with going to the Boy Scouts / Girl Scouts for Gorgeous. I know at one time she was looking into that. But there's also sports. If they're in the sports, some of those kids, they like to run. Take them out there and let them join a track team or something. And it could be just something in the neighborhood. It doesn't have to be after school. If you want to homeschool your children, take them to like a community-based track team, a community taste. Baseball is starting now, so you could take them and let them do the join the baseball team. They have the little league, baseball teams and stuff that's getting started. I don't know if Gorgeous likes sports or not, but maybe she would do track. Or also they have softball for the girls. So there's a lot of things you can get your children involved in. I know my sons, they play little league football, all three, basketball, and then even through high school, my oldest son, he was on the football team. They went all the way to the state championship. He was on the swim team. They all played basketball at the rec center in our neighborhood. There's lots of things that your children can get involved with. So the whole thing is to have your children, like I said, get involved in different activities, positive activities, not negative. And that keeps them off of going in the wrong direction, hopefully. Because there's so many things that these kids can get involved in out here. But have them doing things like that where they're going to be involved in something positive to keep their minds going, to give them that physical activity. Also, it will create more communication skills for the child. I know a lot of people said they didn't, had problems understanding with, when some of the children were talking on the internet or whatever. But that will help them to develop those skills also. So what else does everyone have to do today? Like I said, I have to go out to the library to go pick up some information. For one thing, I want to get some current tax books because I do my own taxes. I do not pay an accountant anymore. I used to have an accountant years ago, and that was a story I had told earlier in one of my lives. Because my husband, back then, when I was married and with my husband, he owned his own business, and between us, he worked, I worked. So because he owned his own business, the one year I decided to file with him, because he asked me to file with him this one particular year, because normally we used to file separate because he had to file for, with his business. One year he, asked me to file with him. That particular year, we got audited. I don't know if he knew we were going to be audited or if something was funky with his books. Long story short, they came after me. They didn't, well, they tried to go after him, but at that point in his life, when they audited his tax returns, they came after me because at that point of his life, he was on disability. And I don't know if everyone knows, but when you're on disability, the government cannot levy your disability check. And his disability check was a nice piece of money, but instead they came after me because I was still working. That was the worst day of my life. I still remember that phone call to this day. But yeah. So ever since that situation, I have had an accountant do my taxes. When I would say 10 years after that, I had an accountant do my taxes because I built my own home and I had moved on by that time. I was divorced and, I was, in charge of my own finances. So I had an accountant do it that particular year because I wanted to make sure I got the right tax credits and stuff. When you purchase a home, you get certain tax credits. Well, back then you did. I don't know what they're doing now with these, with the tax credits with a house. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to go to the library to get information about the new tax credits and stuff because I heard they changed because of our dear leader. So I just want to see what's changed, what's different, whatever. Oops. I'm sorry, I almost knocked y'all over. It's because I normally don't come on this early. But anyway, so I'm going to go get some air, walk over to the library, get that done. I might stop at a couple stores. I might go see if I could find those lemon meringue M&Ms that Entertainment You Love was sitting on live and been advertising them so much from the Dollar Tree. I might see if they have them in my neighborhood because they do look kind of tasty, and I like lemon. So well, if you come to my channel, if you like what my conversations are about, and if you like what I have to talk about, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. And if you're catching it on replay, type replay in the comment. I really appreciate it. I know everything, isn't for everybody, and I understand that. But subscribing to my channel is free. It doesn't cost you a thing. And hit the notifications. Hit it on all. Put it on all. And that way, every time I come live, you'll be notified. Let's see who else is on here. Good morning. Good morning, Susan. How are you? Good morning, Jessica. How are you? Please feel free to subscribe and leave a like, please. I really appreciate it. Well, I'm going to say goodbye, and everyone have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.